What is up, guys? Good morning. Wanted to push this back just a tad bit. I have some interesting news to bring to you. We got a scam on our hands. JLR was getting called by the Raging Cajun National Navy Nation United search team here. We have a scam on our hands. Good morning, guys. Come on in. As JLR says, come on in. You guys got to check this out. They called the police on JLR. But see, I like somebody that stands up, shows it all, isn't afraid to call somebody out. I don't care what you want to say about anybody. This man puts forth the effort, his passion. So, but let's take a look at this. Come on in. Also, we have ships running into bridges, knocking them over. We have Idaho. They're just totally taking surveillance cameras and burying them in high-profile cases. And what's the latest here? Oh, and I was able to obtain Riley Strain's CAD radio audio. So we got lots going on. But let's take a look. Again, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Come on in, as JLR says. Come on in. Take a look. I put this on a little faster speed.
JLR investigates. Good morning, everyone. JLR investigates. The search for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers continues. Good morning, everyone. Come on in. We have to talk. Got to use a platform to bring public awareness to a situation, folks. I urge every single person out there that has been following JLR investigates to stay away from the United Cajun Navy. They are a complete scam. And I don't come on very often ever talking about drama. But oh boy, we have uncovered a lot about this so-called search group that is in Hendersonville, Tennessee right now, hijacking everything and creating a lot of problems, folks. Come on in. Yes, stay away from the United Cajun Navy. They are a scam. They're scam. They're faking. They're lying to the public about their searches. I have receipts, folks. I have receipts. And I'm a little bit ticked off because a lot of you guys know that I've been putting in all my heart and passion on our end, right? Magnolia has been assisting me.
Magnolia sounds awesome.
Around me have been doing great, phenomenal work. The United Cajun Navy had the police called on me yesterday up at their so-called search meeting site. I was just minding my business in my car. And this guy who identifies himself as Skip Butler runs up on my car and tells me I have to leave immediately or he's calling the police. And I said, what do you mean I got to leave immediately? I'm not doing anything wrong. What's going on? This guy right here. Beware of this guy because he's using multiple names, folks. He told me he's Skip Butler. United Cajun Navy, when they were down there in Nashville, he's calling himself Skip Parker. Who is this guy? He does not want to be filmed. He's the one that is running. He's the man, the United Cajun Navy, their founder, I guess so we did some research, folks. There's multiple branches of the Cajun Navy, right? But the United Cajun Navy is an offshoot of original Cajun Navy. And those other Cajun Navies do not like United Cajun Navy at all. They do not. They say they manipulate things. They lie. They're in it for the money. They're in it for themselves. Well, this guy up here approaches me and he says I got to get out of here. He's going to call the cops. I actually left, but I called him a scam artist to his face and he called the cops. I left and then I had interaction with Hendersonville police, professional, totally cool. They were cool, totally cool. You see, did nothing wrong, whatever like that. Shook all their hands. They actually watched the channel. Now, some people in the chat are saying another live streamer has had the same situation.
Not me, don't worry.
Where they did the same thing. These people are evil, folks. The founder, Todd Terrell, his name is Christopher Todd Terrell. He has numerous cases of outstanding child support from Louisiana. And the irony of this whole situation is, look on the case logs in Baton Rouge. The guy owes buku amounts of child support, and they're out here using a child.
Don't worry. Welcome and good morning. Come on in. I've sped up JLR. He is not going this fast. I bumped him to 1.25 so it could be quicker to go through. So JLR is not talking this fast. His coffee is not spiked or laced. I just bumped him up. I love JLR, so his work ethic is top notch. And you know, we can have difference of opinions on certain things, but I'll never his work ethic and
using a child, folks, and pretending they're having searches. Their vice president went on Nancy Grace yesterday and had the audacity to say that spot. Remember that spot where that dog hit at Rockland Creek or Rockland Recreation Center? Remember that dog spot? Their vice president had the audacity and went on to Nancy Grace and say that it was a dead homeless man there. It ended up being wild. A dead homeless. There was no dead homeless man there. Authorities didn't find a body there. It's a complete lie. This guy rolls up to a bowling alley and tells everyone they got to sign in and check in and make sure you donate. Now, I just want to stress, folks, I'm a little bit ticked off because they're pulling off a scam, and I actually reported them to the local authorities. These are gypsies. These are
There you have it. JLR calling the Cajun, I'm calling them the Cajun Rajun Navy. He called them gypsies. Yes. These are gypsies. They are gypsies. I love it.
Good opportunities. These are the type of people. I'm going to tell you who these people are. And you can do your own research in Google because the United Cajun Navy is involved with scandals, folks. There's articles out there. Their so-called leader has been involved with racks of restraining orders and legal problems because other organizations say they skip out on paying money, they solicit funds, they pocket it for themselves, they don't use it for what they're using it for. Look it up. Look it up. Do not associate with these people whatsoever. They're lying to you. They're lying to you. Now, I had a long conversation with Seth Rogers last night. I 100% support that man, support the inner circle of him. They are great people. They are passionate. They are trying to find it. And they're actually, they want help. And I get it. But I told him my feelings. I told them, and they understand. And I don't want to make this about me. This is supposed to be about Sebastian. These people are not working with law enforcement. There was no, matter of fact, my honest take, now that I'm looking at it into another person, I think their dogs just false hit. I don't think their dogs found anything. And then they actually sit in the cut and make all the volunteers go, and they have this organized thing, and then they start distributing all over their platforms. United Cajun Navy is here to help. Where, they're actually kind of taking credit online of finding Riley. No. They didn't find Riley.
No.
They didn't find Riley. You know who found Riley? It wasn't them. So this guy here, and I made a clip because there's two. Listen to this. This is wild. I'm going to show you something here.
Here we go.
I'm going to show you something here. I called him out right to his face when he came. Listen, why don't they want to be live streamed? Why don't they want to be recorded doing their organization? You know why? Because they're not regulated to do this. They're not the professionals to do this, folks. They're just a ragtag group that came from another state that comes up in here loosely organized with a representative of them and then solicit money and donations from people and then try to go out there and say, we're searching. They said they're claiming they're doing searches today, but everyone has to meet at the bowling alley where the bowling alley where Sebastian and his mom went. They're meeting at a bowling alley. My thing is, what are you going to do at a bowling alley? You going to walk down the streets of Henderson searching? No.
Right there. He comes up a little. He catches himself and he does a little laugh. I love it. He's like, the bowling alley. Like, it's great. Again, good morning. Lots going on. Want to touch base on this case. JLR calling out. He's about to call out. He gets in the face of this butler man. This Skip Butler. Don't even know what his name is. So here we go. JLR gets into it with this man who calls the police on him. Okay. He calls him a straight up scam artist to his face. It's on record. All right. JLR is hot. He is not happy. And I think this is like a true, this is who he is. He's very passionate. Like, I think I'm a very passionate person. I believe he is too. And he's hot over this because it's like, wait a second. I cover these cases. I travel around. Okay. And, I'm going to cover whatever I want. Is this your property? I'm not getting out of here. You get out of here. You leave. So check this out. I stand with JLR here and his passion, his work ethic 100. But he says live Sebastian Rogers United Cajun Navy scam. And I'm calling them the Raging Cajuns. They're Raging Cajuns.
They're going to do that because they want cameras on them, media to say, Cajun Navy's out here, Cajun Navy. Boom. They're now synonymous with the Sebastian Rogers search.
Love it.
As if they're doing something.
JLR dropping a boom. You guys see, you know, I think maybe I'm just rubbing off a little bit on him there. I'm telling you what, him and Magnolia Sims, they were literally all over this case. He left Riley to go over there, then came back, then went back over there. If you guys remember, everybody was like wondering where JLR was that second day when he had first got into Nashville. Then he leaves to go over here. And so he's hot. Here we go.
They're not doing nothing. I've been here, boots on the ground. They're pushing the live streamers away. They don't want you to live stream. It's prohibited. They literally called the police on me. And I've done nothing wrong. And I went into no trouble or nothing. Police, they laughed at it. They said it's frivolous. Frivolous. But look at this guy.
Here we go.
Hold on. So I'm just minding in my car, and I see this guy roll up on me. I'm like, all right, there's trouble. So I just start recording.
This is private property. I need to leave, buddy. Everything gets mobilized, everything gets set up. This is private property.
Who are you?
My name is Skip Butler.
Skip, I'm JLR investigating. Tell her. You're telling me to get off this
I'm not
property.
doing any interviews. I'm asking you to leave this private property, please.
I'm not doing
United Cajun Navy Nation. We are here at the Shelby Park boat launch in Nashville, and we have our volunteer from South Carolina who just turned around and looked this way. His name's Skip Parker, and it's
Now, if you heard that, he tells me, Skip Butler, United Cajun Navy, saying in their own video themselves that he's Skip Parker. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Like, literally, who is this guy? Now, look, I'm going to play the actual full clip.
This is private property. I need you to leave, buddy. Everything gets mobilized, everything gets set up. This is private property.
Who are you?
My name is Skip Butler.
Skip, I'm JLR investigating. Tell her. You're telling me to get off this
I'm not
property.
doing any interviews. I'm asking you to leave this private property, please. This is private property. I'm asking you to leave.
Is it your property?
I'm asking you to leave. This is private
No,
property.
I'm not. Call the police. Call the police. Why'd you get off the property? Why don't you get off the property? How are you going to tell another citizen to get off the property? Shame on you.
I'll call you back in
Why
just
are
a
you
moment.
scamming people? Why are you scamming people? Why are you scamming people?
Why is he scamming people? Who is that
Boom.
guy?
boom.
I encourage everyone to stay away from them and report them on who they are. They are not doing any searches. They put out these Facebook posts trying to draw people in. It's one of those things like they put these posts and then they say, oh yeah, we're going to do searches. They haven't done no searches, folks. They matter of fact, they put on for days that they were going to go to Rockland Recreation Center. Guess what? I called Rockland Recreation Center yesterday and asked them about any searches on that property. They didn't know what I was talking about. I called the management on their phone. If you go to Rockland Recreation Center, look on the sign on the outside. There's a phone number there. You can call management. They knew nothing about dogs, nothing about searches on their property. But they, on their own site, was putting out, oh, we have to navigate through federal lands. You need to come through us. We need to do this properly and professionally. They're not working with law enforcement. Law enforcement is not interested in Rockland Recreation Center.
Damn.
They're not interested. But look at this guy. This is the vice president who went on Nancy Grace yesterday. You know the Nancy Grace. And we got to listen to the Proudfoots.
Yeah, we're going to
Listen
talk
to
about
this.
that.
To Brian Thrasher, VP of Cajun Navy, let's clear it up. Isn't it true? This is on federal property that had been closed off. There was a hurricane site earlier.
Tornado.
It was also, yes,
Tornado.
thank you. And it was also near railroad tracks, and some homeless people had been living there, and apparently one of them had died, and we believe that is what the dogs were hitting on. Is that correct?
Yeah, all of the above is correct, and we did not gain access to the property. It had already been open when we got there. I'm not sure how entry was gained, but yeah, everything above it that you said was correct.
It's not correct. They didn't find a homeless body on there. That dog didn't hit a homeless body. The coroner no police never came there to retrieve no body. No one reported that. There's no evidence of that. There's nothing. We were out there. They didn't find anything at that site. He lied. The vice president of Cajun Navy lied to Nancy Grace to her face. Didn't find a homeless person there at all. Didn't find a homeless.
You know, Jenna, I'm not too upset that he's going to lie to Nancy Grace. She lies to us every day. I will say that maybe I encourage Nancy to go do a hell of an interview, because after I roasted her ass, she comes on through and interviews the Proudfoots. So maybe I put a little pep in her step to up her game. But I'm not upset that he lied to Nancy. She's used to having liars on her show, so that's kind of par for the course. You know what she does.
Homeless person there. Who is this guy? So he identifies as himself as
right there. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Well, JLR is going to find out. I'm telling you that right now. I believe that JLR here probably knows who this guy is. But so beware here. I don't know what's going on over there in good old Hendersonville, but shit's whack. You got the parents. Now the mom and stepdad. How about this? The stepdad wasn't even there, he says. He was 3 hours and 37 minutes away. Who says 3 hours and 37 minutes away? It's kind of like Isaac Funderburg when he says, I got home at 3:57 from work. The fuck? 3:47 from work. Who? I got home at 3:45. You know, I guess, yeah, if you're looking at a clock or if you're reciting it back because you looked at something that you have Life 360 or something, but lots of things going on in this case. It's been a month since this little boy has been missing. A month, okay? A month. It's a long time. It's a long, long time. But mom saying that she took a polygraph and passed. The stepdad saying that law enforcement said you don't have to take a polygraph because of where you were at. Okay. But then allegedly he was sending Facebook messages and put that he actually took a polygraph and passed. So I don't know. They're not able to talk about her work van. I just find that so bizarre. Them not knowing makes and models of vehicles that they have in their possession. She uses very interesting language when she talks about waking up her son that morning or going to attempt to wake him up. We'll take a look here in just a minute on that interview.
as Skip Butler, he tells me. And there's some articles out there with the ride. He just came out of nowhere because if you Google him connected with Cajun Navy, he only pops up suddenly from here, Nashville on Riley, right? He only pops up on dude, these people are gypsies. And I'm saying it, and they can come at me for defamation, whatever. We're telling the truth. We'll go discovery.
Yeah.
I got the receipts.
Yeah, baby. Love it. He's like, they can come sue me for defamation. I love it. I stand by it. You bunches of gypsies. Boom. JLR. Yes. I got your back. I don't know if you guys know this, but me and JLR are that Justin kid, boy, girl, I don't know, that said that Dylan was a trans on my channel. He filed paperwork against me and JLR that he wants restraining orders against us. I don't even know who this person is. File all you want. File all you want. God, man. Nothing says like, I want to be all up in Lana. I don't know if you guys know that. You guys know that? me and JLR are listed. He says, fuck around and find out JLR, fuck around and find out Lana, and puts up some, I don't even know, paper with our names on it that he wants protection orders. Well, I want protection order from your mouth, from you spreading lies about Dylan being trans. Fuck out of here. I hope Dylan sues your ass for defamation.
I got the receipts. But what's even crazy is this guy, Todd Terrell, who's down in Louisiana, is putting out as if, oh, they're the Cajun Navy's here in full force. No, they're not. They sent this guy up named Skip Butler. He might even be Skip Parker because the Cajun Navy identified him in another clip as Skip Parker. So who is he? From South Carolina with an airboat.
An airboat.
What the hell are you going to do in an airboat?
Airboat.
So he goes in the back of a bowling alley and parks his vehicle with a big giant airboat. As if they're about to do some sort of water searches and stuff. Like, no, they're not. And if they do anything, it's all for show. So I know some people might say, oh, yeah, they are out there, whatever. It's all for show. You know what? They put a post last night. I'm going to show you this. This is ridiculous, too.
You know what? You got JLR so hot that he didn't even shave this morning. That's what pisses me off. JLR, you know, he's going to wake up. He's going to shave. You got him so hot and bothered that he had to do probably overtime work at his hotel last night, and my boy couldn't even shave. All right. So I got some problems with that. One of my good friends, she hits me up about a couple months ago, and she's like, "Hey, I know you know JLR, and can you hook me up with him?" And I'm like, "Excuse me?" She wants a date with JLR. I said, "Are you being serious right now? You just hit me up to say you want me to ask JLR if he will go on a date with you?" She's like, "Yeah, or let's just go wherever he's going to be at next time." I was like, "I think that's stalking. I think that's borderline stalking." She's a good-looking girl,
This is
though.
crazy. They put a post last night where they talked to Burton Skaggs, or Burton Skaggs, one of a local reporter. I like his stuff. And he tweeted out, he said, "I've been in contact with the United Cajun Navy." Now, stress and point, we're talking about United Cajun Navy. There's multiple Cajun Navies. There's actually some good Cajun Navies out there. Cajun Navy 216, they called out the United Cajun Navy. But he said, "I've been in contact with the United Cajun Navy. They will be updating after searches are complete as to not attract crowds, which might overstimulate their canine." That's crazy, folks. So basically what they're saying is they're going to have secret searches, but they...
You guys, now they're blaming the dogs as to why we can't be around. We're going to overstimulate their canines. Well, then your canines can't probably be like good at their job, because canines are used to being around like hella people when they're out searching, right? I don't know. Why don't we ask Chris Watts about those canine searches that they did at his house and how good they were? You got a dog going crazy and no one's doing anything. Remember back in the day? Overstimulate a canine who is like sniffing out cocaine, man. Like, get out of here. I just can't handle the fuckerage, but more importantly, just the bullshit. Like, what a stupid ass statement to make. Okay? Like, why would you even write that shit? Overstimulate a canine. The only one we have overstimulated here is JLR, because he is hot and he has every reason to be hot.
But they don't want anyone to know their searches because they don't want to disrupt their canines. And then afterward, they'll tell you about the searches. "Oh, we searched here, but we can't tell you where the searches are. You can't live stream the searches. These are all on federal land all over the place," right? Well, yeah, Rockland Recreation Center is federal land. It is federal land. But guess what? There's not much land and there's nothing there. Authorities don't want anything there. So where else are you going to search? Where else is the Cajun Navy really going to search? Where are they going to search? But anyway, this Todd Terrell guy, Christopher Todd Terrell, his real name, the dude has warrants out for him for delinquent on child support. $12,423.80 delinquent in Baton Rouge, a parish.
Dude, JLR coming with, he's like, "I got receipts." He's always got receipts. We got receipts over here. This man, I support him. Listen, we have different takes on the Brian Kohlberger case. I respect that. I don't want anybody to just say, "Yes, ma'am." Hey, but let me tell you something. JLR will tell me and tell everybody every day of the week that Truth and Transparency does her work, does her homework, does her work, does good work. He doesn't say, "Oh, fuck Lana because we think differently on the Brian Kohlberger case." No, never. Absolutely not. We respect each other's passion, work ethic. If we're saying something, it's because of the personal knowledge that we've gained or where we're getting something, and we're not just saying something to say it, you know? But right here, he's got now $12,453.93. I was just like, love it. But it's so true. Like, here, you're out here searching for a kid, but you're not even gonna pay for your own kid. Man, get the fuck out of here.
I'm going to get this guy's mugshot. Cajun Navy 26.
I want to get this guy's mugshot. Hell to the yes. I mean, how pissed off if you're that man's son and you see daddy didn't pay for me, but daddy's out searching for other kids, but he won't pay for me. I would hate for that man's son to see that, you know? Get out of here. Bye.
16. Hard to see with the glare. Here, hold on. Let me show you. They pretty much said, this is Cajun Navy 216. You always have got the ones that are out in it for the right reasons, and then unfortunately you have the other ones. We will never unite with wolves impersonating as sheep. Good will always prevail. And someone respond, are you referring to the United Cajun Navy Army? Are they not legit? It was great they found that missing boy in Nashville, right?
Think of the super sticker.
They laughed. Haha. They didn't find him. Workers moved barges out of dock.
Bullet.
Watch the police press conference. It's posted on their page. They're calling out the United Cajun Navy.
7 months, almost had our baby.
They're calling out the United Cajun Navy.
Hell yeah.
Do not assist them. I'm telling my platforms, you are being scammed. If you go out there with them, you're being bamboozled. You're being used for their own donations. They are using Seth Rogers. And then there's conflicting things now, according to Nancy Grace. Who are they there for? Are they there for really the Proudfoots? Because of the way I heard it on Nancy Grace yesterday is as if the Proudfoots contacted them.
Ooh.
Is this all a distraction with them?
JLR, who's pulling up next to you?
Is it? It's shameful. I'm sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a scam before my eyes. I'm trying to raise the red flags. If you're there, pull out your camera and ask them for their credentials. Ask them who they are. Ask the organizer. If you decide to go and you want to go and you want to make a difference on finding Sebastian, go up to whoever's running this operation with your camera and ask them who they are. Ask them to provide you identification. Ask them to provide you credentials on who they are. They remind me of those people when hurricanes hit and disasters hit and they come in there and they try to say, donate money up front and we'll fix your roof and we'll do this. That's what they remind me of, these gypsies that, fake the work. It's fake. It's a facade, folks. And it's my duty to tell you people this. Now, you can believe me. You could choose to believe me. You could choose not to. You could say, oh, I'm just butthurt or whatever because I can't live stream. No, I'm out here trying to find a kid. I'm out here trying to make a difference. I'm out here using my platform to bring awareness to this kid that's out there missing. And trust me, we don't need to live stream. That's not it. We were just doing that to bring awareness. But Cajun Navy doesn't want it. Nancy Grace actually told them on their podcast today, the live streaming's great. So they were kind of backpedaling a little bit. They were kind of, oh, yeah. Well, maybe just make videos and edit them. We just don't want, no. And Nancy's like, no, we want to see it all in real time. In real time.
That's where Nancy's getting all of her content from.
Call them out. Call the United Cajun Navy out. Ask them for the credentials, who they are, how many people are their force.
Where do you think that everyone's getting their news from? I mean, I would have laughed in that guy's face. Like, you can't live stream here. Like, who the fuck do you think you are? I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want. Like, I need a hoodie that says that. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want. So don't even come and ask me about anything. But I'll respect people, but I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want. I'm not gonna bother you. It's kind of like, I'm sorry, but the TikTokers that found Riley's card, you should have been live. Like, you were live. Why'd you hang up? Go live. Go right where that card was. I didn't like that. I thought that was sus. And I have no problem saying it.
What exactly they're doing? Ask them specifics on what they're doing. Now, I don't want to sit around and just lurk and try to expose them or, I said what I had to say. I'm out here at a different location with other groups of people trying to find this young man. We have other leads. We're actually trying to find him, not be a facade inside a fake thing. Now, I do generally believe that the searches over the weekend were genuine. It was a genuine heart. People are looking. But I'm telling you, I communicated a little bit with the sheriff's office there. They've responded. They've responded to some tips that we got our way that we've related back. They acknowledged it and passed it forward. They are aware of this group. Maybe they'll come out and speak and say, hey, stop with the BS. Maybe they support him. I don't know. Maybe I'm 100% wrong with whatever I'm saying. Maybe I'm 100% wrong. I'm telling you, the United Cajun Navy is a scam. They're a scam. They're opportunists. They're in for themselves. They want you to sign up. They want you to sign up. You know why? They want you to sign up so you get on their email list. So then they can try to solicit funds from you. Oh, yeah. Help us. Donate. Be part of our team. It's not organized. And you don't need an organized search for that. They're not the professionals. They were trying to say on their site, we need it organized so we don't contaminate evidence or something. They're not law enforcement. Law enforcement didn't co-sign it. People are just out there trying to find on their own initiative this young man that's missing. I see how you guys get it. So I'm just saying, and I think some people, we've been in the chat, I've been raising the red flags. Who calls the police on someone that's out there trying to find? Everyone knows on this channel, we've been doing the right thing for the last week. We've been doing the right thing.
Yeah. You got some nerve calling fucking cops at JLR. Let me go call the fucking guy. Hey, this guy's trying to find this little kid. I think you need to get out here. Yeah. What a fool. How stupid. How stupid. You keep on keeping on, JLR. Nothing but love and support. Straight to the transparency backs JLR, his work ethic, his passion. If you had a missing kid, I'm telling you, you'd want this man covering it. You'd want him around. I'd want him around if it was my kid. With that said, and I enjoy a good laugh. Like JLR, he cracks me up. He's good. I don't know if he tries to be funny. I don't even think he tries to be funny. It's just him, you know. When I see him doing, you know, certain things, I just laugh. And when he's like eating his morning breakfast and he has this with him, and he's just like, yeah, I don't care if you guys are gonna watch me stuff my face and like just eat all this food. So, you know, you can totally see he stayed at a hotel, right? And he's always got someone checking in on his cat when he's not there and letting us know about his breakfast, you know. So he's real. We're real over here. This is what you do. So I support JLR and do your own homework. See what you can. Find out about the Raging Cajuns over here. But the United Cajun Navy, JLR is saying it's a scam.
Yo, I said on my live streams, I fall back. If they find something, I specifically say, we're going to fall back. We will not. If anything is found that's crazy, we're not going to show it. I don't put cameras up in people's faces. I just tag along and share what's going on. They don't want that because they don't want it. They don't want the public to know how they operate and who they are in person. Online, yeah, it sounds good. United Cajun Navy's there helping. They're not there's many.
He's right. He ain't wrong. He's right. Yeah.
Offshoots of the United Cajun Navy, or many offshoots of Cajun Navy. This group here are no good. They're no good people. They're no good people. Do your due diligence. Do your own research. Prove me wrong. Change my mind. But that's what's going on. I don't understand how they said they called a frivolous complaint. They said, oh, it's trespassing and causing a disturb. I'm sitting in my car. Literally, a guy comes up to me and tells me to leave. I come out and call him a scammer. And then I leave. And then I get surrounded by 6 cops. And then they were all like at ease immediately. You know what I mean? And we're just chilling. You know, they run my name, whatever like that. And they're like, oh, you're good. And the sergeant came over and said, watch your channel, dude. You're good. Just chill.
He's surrounded by 6 cops. 6 cops. He got swatted, basically. Calls him a scammer and then leaves. And he's like, I got surrounded by 6 cops. But think about that. That could be a very, very dangerous situation. You know what I mean? See, to get surrounded by 6 cops because that...
Just chill from it, you know? Thank you. And I went and shook all their hands. Have a great day. I'm not going near them. I'm not going back there. I don't even want to be a part of that. Because listen, and some people might say, oh, JLR, you're a hypocrite because you're a scammer or whatever. I made mistakes. I own up and do it. My heart's in the right place. I'm trying to do what's right. I'm trying to do good. And I'll call it out if I see it. I'll call it out if I see it. Now they have every opportunity. Maybe they'll come up and refute what I say or back it up or share their credentials and share who they are, share what they're really doing. Instead of all this mixed signals and mixed stuff on their line. They're manipulative. They play word salad. They play word salad with their statements on what they're doing. They're not doing anything. What are they going to do? Remains to be seen. But we do have eyes on them. If I'm not there, we have eyes on them. We have eyes. We know the tricks. We know what's going on. I pray for Seth Rogers, man. That dude, you know, you're gonna and here's what's happening too. You're gonna get these people that are gonna come and leech. They're gonna come and leech. Bad actors for their own agenda are gonna come try to leech around him. I don't want to see that, man. Not when someone's on their most vulnerable state, whatever. Like, I got a soft spot for this guy. Because I got to know him as a person out in the park. He told me a lot of details I will never share. Just got to know him as a person, man. Him and some of the volunteers, people around him that are really like protecting him. But I warned them. I told them. They hear me. They know. They hear me. They understand. So we're going to still look for Sebastian. We still have a lot of things that we're looking into. The Proudfoots, as some of you might or might not know, the Proudfoots are on their way. They're actually in Mississippi right now at a campground just south of Memphis. You know, and it's interesting because, Christopher was working in Memphis, St. Jude's Hospital. He acknowledged that. He said it out of his own mouth. The campsite is just south in Mississippi, right across the border. I'm not going to say the location. Have posted posted pictures online about, you know, what it is. Now, is he just going to go back to work there? The question is, why is Katie out there with him? She's expressed that she doesn't like the online stuff, what people are saying. She'd be there alone. But it's interesting because, you know, at the very beginning, wasn't it that they were staying home waiting for if Sebastian comes home? Well, why did they both leave the home and travel 3.5 hours away? Why are they 3.5 hours away where they are? You know, is she going to go back? What's happening? In the meantime, you know, the parents of Christopher Proudfoot has been going back to that house, checking on that house. And, you know, we actually reported it to the TBI. We were out there, and the parents are out there taking pictures of everybody, whatever, like that, suspiciously. And or maybe they're just they want to know who's around their house. But we have examples of people that have come forward to us and say that they've been around the neighborhood looking for something.
I agree with that. I mean, I couldn't imagine leaving, being 3.5 hours away. I would think that if he has to leave, doesn't she have family that could come and be with her friends that would come and stay with her? Nobody's gone up to that house. Nobody's knocking on their door. Again, I try not to judge parents and how they want to behave or what they want to do and things like that. And nobody knows how they would act in a situation like this. They've never been in a situation like this. So I do try to reserve, and I give the most leeway to parents. But Bella's done a lot of like listening to the behavioral people discuss and the panels discuss the different interviews that have been done and what they've gathered from them. And it seems like people are like, people are either all in on like, yep, sus mom and suspect, you know, the stepdad. And then people are like, I don't know, there's some stuff that's genuine. I'm really interested to know about that polygraph that she passed, you know. Consult local chapters of TNT. They did the same thing to Dolly. Yeah, I knew that he went out there too. Nancy was like, speak up, lady. You know, I think that's probably the most anybody's ever talked on her show. But I'm curious to know what questions were asked, the 3 questions that would have been asked on that polygraph. Yeah. Nancy Grace interviewed the mom and the stepdad last night. We can take a look at that. The first 15 minutes is all that really matters. So if you're going to watch it. Dolly was supporting JLR this morning. Hell done froze over. Why are they not like? I don't understand that. No issues with anybody. Well, except for people that make lawsuits up and say that I'm trying to have fake engagements and run my Cash App. Yeah, I think that was a lie. I don't think they took polygraphs. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. You know what's kind of also sad? I kind of look at the dynamics of the mom and the dad, bio mom and dad, and you would think if there's any time to come together, your son being missing would be kind of one of those times. You know, this is your 2 sons. Like, you know, these are 2 parents. This is their son. Like, look at Riley. His parents aren't together. You know what I mean? They were doing it all together. You know, I think that tells me a lot about the dynamics of that household, you know. They haven't even talked to Seth in 2 weeks. I thought it was longer than that. The stepdad is threatening lawsuit. Jeez. Smooth, don't tell me what to do. What's up, New Orleans lady? What's up? again, welcome to the transparency. Let's take a look here at a little bit of the clip here. We'll send off JLR. JLR, have a great day.
Sebastian and the Proudfoots parents have been following him around. Maybe they're spying on behalf of Christopher. Maybe they're just nosy. Maybe they just want to, know who's who. I don't know what they're doing. I tried to ask them what's up. They jumped in the car. They left after they were chasing me. It was pretty wild stuff, I'm not, definitely don't want to try to bait myself into some drama. And again, this is not
He's
about
like, they were following me around. Damn. Stepdad is out for JLR. Oh God. That's fucking hilarious. I'm sorry, but that's wild. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at a little bit of this clip of Nancy Grace this morning. Like I said, Nancy, come on down. She ran an interview with the parents, well, the bio mom and stepfather, and Nancy. Let's see. Okay. God, to sit here and listen to her, I'm not going to lie, it's going to be difficult, but I'm only showing the first 15 minutes and I'll be speeding her up. And then I'll be calling this a wrap. And then I'll be live again talking about something else.
Their minds. First of all, I want you to hear what his bio mom, Katie Proudfoot, says. Listen.
When I woke him up for school, he wasn't there. I took a second and walked through the house looking for him in case he'd gotten up and was trying to get breakfast or something, because he did that sometimes. About 3 minutes in, give or take, I was on the phone with my husband. I said, I can't find him. He said, what do you mean you can't find him? I said, he's not in the house.
Can't find him. Where is he? And in the last days, we learned that the official law enforcement search is actually scaling back. This as TikTokers and YouTubers are flooding the area, conducting their own searches. Listen to Eric Craddock, Chief Deputy, Sumner County Sheriff's.
Really wanted to come to Indiana.
Oh, wait a second. Hold on. This is not the right one.
Search your properties every day, morning and night. If there's a shed or a crawl space or up under your mobile home or a tarp that's in your yard, check it every morning and check it every night. Look for any details that something has been disturbed. If there's a shirt that was there today that wasn't there yesterday, notify us. You can really help us by searching your own property.
Middle of the night, we think barefoot. How did that happen? I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us here at Crime Stories. And
again, I sped her up so it would go quicker.
We've read a lot.
Wait, this is the one from 17 hours ago.
A lot of theories, a lot of speculation. But let's start with what we know to be true. Colossal popcorn. Then you came home that night and
okay, here we go.
Understand that the day before, which would have been Sunday, if I've got the information correct, that you guys went out, you went to dinner, you went to somewhere, I believe you said BJ's, where he had a quote colossal popcorn. Then you came home that night, and around 9 p.m., you tell Sebastian to go to bed. He says, okay, and goes to his room. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
That night, I understand from previous statements you've made that you went to bed around midnight. Is that correct?
It is.
And to you, Mr. Proudfoot, Chris Proudfoot, did you also go to bed at midnight or before or after?
No, ma'am. We went to bed around the same time because we were on the phone together.
And
was not home.
please excuse any of my questions. I'm simply trying to find out more about that night. Do you two sleep in the same bedroom?
He wasn't actually in the home at all that weekend.
You were not home.
No,
Okay.
ma'am.
So where were you, Mr. Proudfoot?
I was in Memphis, Tennessee.
How far away is that?
3 hours and 37 minutes from doorstep to doorstep.
And what were you doing in Memphis?
Working.
Where do you work?
I'm currently working, or was working, at the St. Jude Children's Hospital construction project.
Yes, I'm very familiar with St. Jude's. You said you were working there. Are you no longer working there?
Right now, that's up in the air.
Well, you've been gone ever since Sebastian went missing, so I understand. When you are home, do you two sleep in the same bedroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this a 3-bedroom home?
Yes, ma'am.
Where is your room as it relates to Sebastian's room?
It's on the opposite end of the house. The master bedroom's on one side, and the other 2 bedrooms are on the other side of the house.
Okay, so your master bedroom is on one side of the house and Sebastian's room is on the other side of the house. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, you have a 3rd bedroom that I believe you keep for your other daughter. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that Faith? Is your other daughter named Faith?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So where is Faith's bedroom as it relates to Sebastian's bedroom?
It's in the back side of the house. Sebastian's bedroom
So
on the
it's-
front side of the house.
Okay. So his bedroom is away from Faith's bedroom and away from your master bedroom. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Is Sebastian's room on a top floor or a ground level?
We have a ranch style house. It's a 1.5 story, so everything's flat, and then you have the bonus room above the garage.
Okay. So his is on ground floor, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That morning, was there any sign of a break-in through a window, a front door, a back door, a sliding glass door, anything at all?
No, ma'am.
Okay. No sign of forced entry. Was anything taken from the home at all?
Not that we could find anything. We couldn't find anything missing.
I want to circle back to Sebastian's shoes regarding if anything was missing. Do you have a burglar alarm?
No, ma'am.
Do you have a Ring doorbell cam?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Have the 2 of you taken a polygraph?
I have.
I have not.
Would you be willing to?
I've offered and volunteered on many occasions to take a polygraph, and I was told directly by law enforcement, because of my whereabouts, I did not need one.
I understand. Ms. Proudfoot, did you pass your polygraph?
I did.
Those questions out of the way. Was Faith in the home when Sebastian went missing?
No, ma'am.
Does anyone else have a key to your home beside your immediate family?
Okay, so this is something I think is interesting. Pay attention to the questions that they answer together. And pay attention to the questions that only one of them answers. So right here.
I did not need one.
I understand. Ms. Proudfoot, did you pass your polygraph?
I did.
Those questions out of the way. Was Faith in the home when Sebastian went missing?
No, ma'am.
Does anyone else have a key to your home beside your immediate family?
No.
No, ma'am.
That night, Ms. Proudfoot, at midnight when you went to bed, what did you do until midnight?
I had been reading a chapter that I needed to, and I had been talking to my husband on the phone. I was falling asleep on him, so that's when he told me it was around midnight. He told me to go ahead and put the dogs up and go to bed, and that's what I did. I got up, put the dogs where they sleep, and then I myself went to bed.
Where do they sleep?
They have dogs. The dogs didn't get up.
They have a big pen.
A pin, is it inside or outside?
Inside.
Inside. That reminds me of another question. Do you guys have a motion sensor light or lights on the outside of your house?
Yes, we do have lights on the outside of our house.
Did they activate that night?
They're not motion censored. We have lights.
Were they on that night?
No,
Okay.
ma'am.
Were they on that night? So the lights were out the whole night?
Yes, ma'am. We don't typically turn the floodlights on.
Were there any lights outside the house on at all?
Just my little solar lights that we have in the garden.
There's
Yep.
2 lights on the side of the house above the garage that are on at all times.
Oh yeah, those are on.
Oh, there's a light above the garage that's on at all times?
There's 2. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So those lights were on?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The reason I'm asking is because I heard you say earlier, Mr. Proudfoot, that your neighbors have been very, very forthcoming with their Ring camera info. And I was
Yes, ma'am.
trying to determine if any lights were on, what, if anything, they may have caught. But I understand from your previous interviews that nothing of any evidentiary value was caught. And also, in another statement you gave, I understand that the video of the 2 flashlights, and I'm saying that with air quotes, that's not exactly what that was at all. We now don't believe that 2 flashlights were observed around your home. Is that correct?
Yes.
You're very correct.
Okay. Question regarding your vehicles. Ms. Proudfoot, what make and model do you drive?
I drive a Infinity SUV,
Year?
2017.
And sir, what do you drive?
I drive a diesel truck, Chevrolet.
Year?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I think it's a 2021, I think.
So your Infinity SUV was parked in the garage or outside the garage that night, Ms. Proudfoot?
I think she's asking that to see what capabilities they have on those vehicles as far as like GPS.
In the garage.
In the garage. And Mr. Proudfoot, your vehicle was on location in Memphis. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So there's only one car at the home. Is that right?
There was actually a work vehicle in the driveway at the time as well, but it hasn't moved. We can't give out that information because we don't have permission from her work.
I don't understand that. What?
About the make and model of the vehicle.
I have a work van that was also parked in the driveway.
Why is that? If it's out in the driveway where people can see it, why is that privileged information?
It's the same thing what Anadarko did
We
with
just don't have permission
Chris's.
from her company to divulge.
That's the same thing what Anadarko did with Chris's truck in the Watts case. They didn't want any of that information out there. They
that information.
bad
Have you
publicity.
asked?
No, ma'am, we have not. Nobody's asked us
So
that
that
question.
was- Okay, so you have a work van. Question to you, Ms. Proudfoot, what do you do for a living?
I am an installation technician.
That night, was the work van blocking your driveway? Could someone go in and out of your driveway?
The van is parked at the back of my driveway, so someone can pull in, yes.
Got it. Do you park your Infinity SUV in the garage or outside the garage?
In the garage.
In the garage. Do you have an automatic garage door?
With the clicker.
Right. Do you leave that up or down at night?
Down.
Could anybody lift it up? Like, is there an on and off button outside, or do you have to know a code or have the clicker to open it?
You'd have to know the code or have the clicker.
Does Sebastian know the code?
Not to the garage door, but to the man doors.
Not to the garage door, but to the house
The
doors?
regular door, yes.
So is there a code to get in your home, or do you use a regular key?
There's a code.
And he knows that code.
Yes, ma'am.
Question. I'm just trying to figure out how he would have gotten out, or if somebody came into the home. Could they have gotten through the garage door? No, unless they know the code or had the clicker, which they did not. Do you lock your doors at night?
Yes, ma'am.
Could he have left on his own through those doors?
He could, yes, ma'am.
But I heard
How would
in
you be
another
able to
interview
lock
where
it?
Mr. Proudfoot said he was not a quote wanderer. He didn't wander around. He never left the home before on his own. Is that right?
Did they ask if the house was, I mean, when she woke up in the morning, was everything still locked? Because normally if a kid would just leave, they're not going to lock the house.
Correct. We haven't had issues with him running or taking off in the past.
Okay, let me ask you a couple of questions regarding the doors. Do you have any home surveillance, anything at all that would have given us an idea or a clue if the door had been opened or not, or a window?
Not directly from our house.
Well, then from where?
That's what we were hoping that neighborhood Ring cameras and may have picked something up.
Gotcha. I want to go back to that night. You said you were up till midnight. You were reading something. What were you reading?
A chapter for school.
A chapter for school.
She's not in school, though.
Are you in school?
I was, yes, ma'am. I've since dropped my classes for the time.
Oh, okay, so she
What
was.
are you studying?
Business administration.
Gotcha. Where do you go to school?
DeVry.
So that night you go to bed at midnight after you've been talking to Mr. Proudfoot on the phone. You put the dogs away in a cage, a crate inside the home, and you go to bed. Did you check on Sebastian at that time?
I did not.
Okay. Do you normally?
Not typically. Since he's gotten older, I've not been checking on him as frequently throughout the night because normally he's good to go in his room once he goes to bed.
Earlier you had stated you heard a noise in his room before you went to bed. What time was that?
Around 10 o'clock.
10 p.m. What did it sound like?
Just a thud.
A thud. You stated that you said, look, I don't care what you're doing in there. Go to bed. Is that right?
I was on the couch, which is near his room, and I said, Bubba, did you fall out of the bed? And he said, no, ma'am. And I said, well, whatever you're doing in there, knock it off and go to sleep.
So you heard his voice at 10 p.m.
Yes, ma'am.
So the kid doesn't say like no mama, no mommy, no mom, but no ma'am. When addressing his mom. Hmm.
Do you have any idea what the sound actually was?
I do not know.
If he were to go out his window, what would he step on?
Mulch and bushes.
Did you say mulch or mush?
Mulch.
Mulch.
Mulch. Okay. Got it. Has he ever gone out the window before?
No, ma'am.
Is his room on the front of the house or the back of the house?
Front.
Front. Do any of your neighbors' ring cams point toward your house? Could they pick that up?
They do, but it's so dark that they can only see it. After it gets so dark at night, they can only see certain things where there's light.
I thought there were the two lights on
the opposite side of the house.
Okay. Can we talk about Sebastian's shoes? Why are you convinced Sebastian left without shoes on? Or are you?
Well, the reason that came about is because all of his shoes are accounted for inside the house still.
Are you positive?
I'm positive.
How do you know what clothes he was wearing?
The clothes that we described are the ones I saw him in when he went to bed.
That morning, you woke up at 6 o'clock. Is that the normal time you wake up?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a heavy sleeper?
Off and on.
Do you take any medication at night that would make you sleep?
No, ma'am.
But you heard nothing.
I did not know.
So we know he is alive and well at 10 p.m. At 6 a.m. He's gone. You say he's never left before. Is that right?
Correct. He's never run off before.
And can I confirm, where was his bio dad at the time he went missing?
I believe he was at work in Nashville.
Had there been any family argument or altercation prior to him going missing?
No, ma'am.
And Mr. Proudfoot, when did you leave town?
Early February.
So you had been gone for days before he went missing. Is that correct?
Correct,
Yes.
ma'am.
Had you visited home since you left?
You said from when I initially left?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I came home February 26th, the morning I was told that he was missing.
From the time that you left for the job in Memphis to February 26th, did you visit the home?
Yes, ma'am.
When?
I was home. I can't give exact dates. Law enforcement has told me not to provide exact dates, but I had been home multiple times prior to February. And then I left early February and then didn't come back till February 26th, the morning he was missing.
So you were not home from the time you left early February till Feb 26th. Is that right?
Correct, ma'am.
Where were you living in Memphis?
I have an RV trailer that I stay in at an RV park.
RV park. Okay. Following back up on that morning, you search the home, Ms. Proudfoot. Then you get in your vehicle and you start searching. Did Sebastian know how to drive?
No, ma'am.
Was your car in the same location when you woke up that morning as it was the night before?
Yes, ma'am.
Has your car been searched by police?
Multiple times. Yes, ma'am.
Have scent dogs looked at your car?
Yes, ma'am.
So your car's in the same place. You get in the car, you start looking in the neighborhood for him. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Then you call Mr. Proudfoot, right?
I believe I was already on the phone with him at that point.
Okay. Question: who called 911?
I did.
You did.
Yes,
What
ma'am.
time?
Without looking at the call log, I can't give you the exact time, but on or about 6:20.
And had you guys been talking on the phone before 6 a.m. or did you initially call Mr. Proudfoot at the time you realized Sebastian was gone?
I called him when I realized Sebastian was gone.
Have you guys been out looking for Sebastian?
6:20. From 6 o'clock, 6:20.
Sebastian.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
We were given information that you guys have left the home. Is that true?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
I'm going back to work.
You're going back to work. What about you, Ms. Proudfoot?
No, I'm not going back to work. Not yet, at least.
Did you leave the home also, Ms. Proudfoot?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
To accompany my husband going back to work, and then I'm coming back.
Okay. When will you be back? Do you know yet?
No, not yet.
Are you concerned about being away while the search is ongoing?
Absolutely, I am.
Then why are you going?
Because
Yes,
my son
Mary.
could be anywhere, and we're looking everywhere and anywhere.
I've got a question for you.
Yes,
I want to find out about Mr. Proudfoot hitting Sebastian with a belt. What happened?
That was actually several years ago, and it
To
was
Mr. Proudfoot.
one-
To Mr. Proudfoot. To Mr. Proudfoot.
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Proudfoot, what happened?
Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood. I thought you were asking Katie. Sebastian had gotten in trouble. He got caught lying. And I had asked him, I said, hey, you got to have a punishment for this. He says, yes, sir. And I said, okay. So I gave him a swat with a belt on his buttocks on the outside of his clothes. One swat.
What did he lie about?
Honestly, I don't remember at the time, but it was probably something dealing with school because that's the majority where his issues lie.
Did he have other issues at school?
Some behavioral stuff, but nothing too crazy.
What kind of behavioral stuff?
He has a hard time. He's awkwardly socially blending in with students. So it's a little, he's trying to figure out how to do it, but respecting people's space. He gets a little too close. And then kids don't really accept that too much. So it kind of causes an issue. But he'll not stop and he continues on. So then it causes an issue. And instead of being honest about it, he'll lie like, no, I didn't. Okay, Sebastian.
We're lying about you.
Was that the first time? Was that the first time you had ever hit him with a belt?
Yes, ma'am. The one and only time, actually.
When was this?
Years ago, ma'am.
Any idea how many? 3, 10, 1?
It probably at least 3 years ago.
I don't understand how that turned into a CPS or Child Protective Services complaint. How were they alerted that you hit him with a belt?
That did not turn into a CPS service call.
There were other CPS reports, right? Were they regarding your other child?
There is one in regards to my daughter that I know of out in New Mexico with my ex-wife and myself.
What happened?
At the time, my ex-wife had fled to New Mexico with my daughter. We were going through a custody and a divorce case at that time. And at the time, when I called and tried to check in on my daughter, I could never reach my ex-wife at that time. So a welfare check was requested. Law enforcement told me to call CPS if I had concerns. So I called CPS. Law enforcement did make a welfare call, and that was it.
Then how does that turn into a CPS complaint against you?
She retaliated.
I have no idea, ma'am. There's a lot of misinformation out there right now in regards to my New Mexico case that actually has no relevance to the Sebastian case.
Then was there even a CPS complaint against you in New Mexico?
Not that I am aware of. And my attorney and myself are well educated on my case, and there's nothing that we know of.
Was there a TRO taken out against you regarding
Yes, ma'am.
your daughter?
Not a TRO, but a TPO.
A temporary protective order. Why was that taken out?
So in regards to that case, my ex-wife had a TPO put against her in Tennessee at the time. When we went to court, that got dissolved. I was ordered to hand my daughter back over to my ex-wife at the time. She gets in a truck. She flies to New Mexico. 2 days later, she files one in retaliation.
Is it still in place?
No, ma'am. That was dropped within, I think, 2 weeks of it being put in place.
I've got a question about the belt incident. You're telling me that was the only time that you ever hit Sebastian with a belt?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're also telling me that did not make it to CPS?
No, ma'am, that did not.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
Regarding Fate's furniture.
Yes,
a few
ma'am.
days after Sebastian goes missing, did you replace furniture in Fate's room?
No, ma'am, I have not replaced any furniture in my daughter's room.
Is there any new furniture in the home?
Yes, ma'am, there's a bed that was given to me, and it's currently in my garage.
Has anything been taken out of the home?
No, ma'am.
I was curious about a statement that Ms. Proudfoot made earlier that canine dogs hit on the barn around the home and near a retention pond. Did that happen?
I'm not sure about the barn, but the retention pond, yes.
Because law enforcement says the dogs did not hit, but Ms.
There's
Proudfoot says they did hit around the retention pond.
So there's been a lot of miscommunication in regards to what is and what is not. To help clear that up, law enforcement has actually spoken directly with me, showed me a few things. What I can tell you is from day one, there was 5 dogs that started the scent for the search. And then after that, from the next 8 days out from that, there have been dogs from all over the country that have come in and done searches and had scent hits in various locations. But I would say a certain percentage of them tend to go toward the same spot, which would have been a retention pond.
So the law enforcement dogs did not hit on the retention pond. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying they did. There was at least 3 that I know for a fact that did hit on the retention pond.
And the pond has been drained, correct? And there was nothing there.
Yes, ma'am. They have walked it, drained it, and there's nothing. The retention pond was only knee deep anyways.
On one occasion, Mr. Proudfoot, you stated that you and Mrs. Proudfoot have been, quote, vetted and cleared of foul play. That was stated on Chronicles of Olivia. Is that true? What do you mean by that?
Chronicles of Olivia.
So after working with law enforcement of all agencies, they have actually told us that there is no foul play, no nefarious issues. We've been cleared of all wrongdoing. We are working extremely cooperative with all law enforcement agencies at any point in time that they've called, come to the house, anything.
Was Sebastian angry or upset before he disappeared?
No, ma'am.
Not to my knowledge.
What is your theory about where is Sebastian?
I wish I knew where he was, to be honest.
Your theory.
I think it's possible that someone has my son,
Why?
because I feel like if he had been close to the house or had walked off, that we would found him by now with as many people as we had searching.
Have you checked his social media?
He doesn't have social media.
Have you checked his phone?
His phone has been thoroughly checked, yes, ma'am.
Have you handed your phones to police, both of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, we have.
Has police searched all of your devices, your laptop, your iPad, everything?
Everything. Yes, ma'am.
Other than you, Miss Proudfoot, who is the last person that saw or heard Sebastian alive the Sunday before he went missing?
Two of his aunts, a cousin, and the staff where we had dinner.
And that was at BJ's the night before or the bowling alley?
So BJ's, and then we went to the bowling alley, and then after the bowling alley, we went to dinner before coming home.
I want to follow up again on the dogs hitting. Earlier, Ms. Proudfoot had stated the dogs hit around the house, the barn, and at the retention pond. Is that correct?
I don't know about the barn, but I do know that they did track to the pond. Yes.
Did the dogs also hit around the house?
Yes, ma'am.
On the outside of the house?
Yes, ma'am.
Were they scent dogs or cadaver dogs?
They brought in both cadaver and tracking dogs.
Which dog hit, a cadaver dog or a scent dog?
Scent dog.
It's all been scent dogs that have hit. The cadaver dogs have not hit on anything that we know of.
What do you believe Sebastian was wearing when he disappeared? And would that have been what he slept in?
Yes. So the clothes, the black sweatpants with the white stripes and the long sleeve black shirt, that is what he went to bed in. And the reason that I believe he was still wearing those clothes is because when we searched, I did not find those clothes in the house. So I have to assume that that's what he was still wearing.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Did you say that's what he wore when he went to bed?
Yes, ma'am.
Joining us right now, in addition to Katie Proudfoot and Chris Proudfoot, the bio mom and stepdad of Sebastian, an all-star panel. First to Brian Trasher joining us.
All right, that's all I'm going to listen to. Lots to digest there. I think that we're being very direct with their answers. I think that they just basically got cross-examined on the stand. They just went through literally like a cross-examination. Let's all digest that. I'll be back live after a couple hours. We got some Riley Strain new information I want to get out there. I want you guys to hear the CAD radio stuff that has been uncovered. And stay away from the Raging Cajuns. And it's very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Delphi, please. Yep, we're going to have plenty of Delphi. I'm going to be in Indiana way too much. I have a feeling Gull has been denying all of these media requests. So looks like I'll be in that courtroom taking notes like a crazy person because we can't even get the hearing to be on audio recording. So looks like I'll be in that courtroom hell of a lot. Let's hope that my right hand, if she would just let us have laptops in there. Oh my God. There's a lot of writing, man. It should be easier though in a question and answer session versus just like, there was just a lot of, there's a lot of stuff going on in that courtroom that day. Let's just say that. But yeah, definitely we could talk all the Delphi we want to talk in the world. Again, I want to thank all the mods. I want to thank all the new members, all the old members, subscribers. Thank you for being here. I think that they answer the questions very direct. So I don't know if they've been coached, but they're very just matter of fact, and that's actually really helpful. There was no word salad. There was no excuse making. It was just they answered the question that was asked of them. And so that's actually very hard to do. That takes a lot. But that is what you would do if you were being cross-examined. So anyways, but yeah, they seemed honest. They seemed, like I said, we're just getting to the story, over the past maybe week or two. And their child has been missing for a month. Everything that you do, she's being like scrutinized for, and I can't imagine what that's like. Maybe in some aspects. I got a lot of people that watch every single thing I do online, and they think that they know me. But yeah. But we'll be back a little bit later. I want to say thank you again, and join me later. All right, guys, be kind to one another, and if you can't be kind, then shut the fuck up.
Today is not a day to celebrate, but the arrest of Richard M. Allen of Delphi on 2 counts of murder is sure a major step in leading to the conclusion of this long-term and complex investigation. Of this long-term and complex investigation. Of this long-term and complex investigation. Of this long-term and